Irvine Disaster Emergency Communications, IDEC, taking their equipment, gear, and know-how to a new venue to make sure they're operating as efficiently as possible on this 24-hour annual Field Day event.
Well, Field Day is something that goes on throughout the United States and Canada. And the idea is you try to make as many contacts as you can to as many states or provinces as you can. And stations are set up. One delta would be if you're working from your home under regular power. We're called 2 Alpha because we have 2 transmitting stations.
And the way they can communicate to other states and countries?
We keep track of contacts. We do it via voice, be it by CW, which is Morse code, or in this PSK, which is another digital mode. Besides licensed operators, we have over there we have a GOTA station, which means anyone without a license get on working under the license of the GOTA operator. You can make contacts and experience HF, which high frequency radio.
The purpose of these stations is to provide support in a real-life emergency situation, helping the Irvine Police Department.
This is for any emergency. We all talk about big earthquake, but there are other minor things that happen. We've also looked for lost children or lost Alzheimer's patients. We serve whatever they need. If there's a power outage, we've done that. If there's a gas leak, plane were to crash, whatever happened, any type of emergency.
So with no Wi-Fi or internet, they're using solar panels and a system that can help them connect to outside sources.
Right now, I've got what's called a mesh network station set up. And a mesh network is using kind of off-the-shelf Wi-Fi equipment that's been converted for amateur radio use. And we're using amateur radio frequencies next to the normal Wi-Fi frequencies that people would use for their phones or home or anything. But it's been converted for amateur use. And what we're doing right now is we're in contact with other ham radio groups that are also doing Field Day. And they have their mesh stations set up, and we have, with this mesh network's high-speed data system that we've got going, we're capable of doing voice over internet phone, which I was talking to Don right before you started here. And Don, you still on?
I am.
Okay, I don't know if you can hear that or not, but he's over in Mission Viejo right now doing their Field Day. I was also talking to a gentleman from Redlands doing their Field Day, all through the amateur radio mesh network. And then we have the ability also to send camera feeds.
From high-tech to a slightly lower-tech station.
I am doing the logging, and Harvey is doing the talking right now, and we've switched off periodically. So right now, we are working 20 meters. We've talked to Canada, we've talked to Texas, all over the place, literally.
We have an exchange of information, and we basically tell them our category that we're in and where we're located, which is orange. And they also give us that information, and we log that into the computer, and we get points for that.
Now to the GOTA station, where everyone is invited to try their hand at ham radio.
Today, our role is to run a Get on the Air station, and we call it GOTA. And this helps people that aren't usually on the amateur radio bands to get on the air and make a few contacts. And I am the GOTA coach, and I help them do that.
Ryan Carter is part of the IDEC team and tells us about how he got involved.
I started interning with the police department. That was over 9 years ago, back when I was in Cal State Long Beach. Studying my criminal justice degree. I was working with the Irvine PD, and I just found this group and I decided to join it. I am the youngest member with IDEC, so I've just been growing with this group and been able to work with everybody and learn new things.
I first got interested to it in high school when my friend's father was making all kinds of equipment in his garage. I went over to his house one day and it was squealing and all kinds of foreign languages. What's going on over there? He says, well, my dad's a radio amateur. He's a ham. I said, oh, can I take a look? And I got the bug by then.
Whiskey 6 Kilo Alpha Tango.
This bug for ham radio has led David Dupre to a lifelong hobby in helping others.
Hurricanes and earthquakes and tornadoes around, they're the first people that get in there with their little handhelds and help out until the first responders can get there. So I really enjoy doing it.
For more information on IDEC and how you can become a volunteer, just visit their website. For Irvine Scene, I'm Jacqueline Twegg.